Alright, just getting set up here. Gotta go find some stuff, and okay, I should be good to go. Alright, welcome to anybody watching the replay. Probably not anybody in here yet live, but I am going to do probably a little bit of mapping just to warm up here real quick, and then I'll probably do a breach boss. I'll probably do a simulacrum. I believe I'm pretty close to finishing. Okay, I have a simulacrum done, I have a breach boss done, so I'll probably do those, but for now I'm just gonna do a little bit of mapping. I have a nice little citadel kind of being set up here with some waystone tablets that I'm setting up here. So I have some stuff like this. Should probably grab a couple of more. I'm kind of running out of quantity of waystone tablets. I have some other tablets to trade in here though, which maybe I should do. Actually, yeah, I'll start with that. So let me see if I can maybe get some better tablets, potentially. So I have a bunch of garbage tablets here. Alright, let's see, any others? I got a bunch of bad Delirium ones, and trade those in as well. See if anything good comes of it. And then I can get to goings. Okay, got a quantity, well, 10%, kind of low, and it's on a 5 base. Rare monsters. I mean, at this point, since I'm running low on them, I'll keep it around for now. Oh, what else do we got? Essence and rare monsters and map, that's fine. I'll put that over here. Kind of trying to keep my waystone stuff. Ooh, 19 and 19 rarity. Now that's a solid one. So Delirium increased pack size, rarity of items, okay, keepable. Delirium fog slower, not really. Okay. Alright, so I got a bunch of stuff set up there. I'm just gonna do kind of these connecting maps. I'm gonna get these 3 towers and put all of them with the quantity of waystones on them. So I'll just do that real quick. I'm just going to run random delirious maps in order to get some more simulacrums. I currently got one more simulacrum done, so I need 2 more, and I currently have 1 ready. So it is possible that I will at least mostly... I could get my 3rd node for simulacrum and then possibly work towards my 4th one today. Hopefully can get that done. Alright, I don't have anything good on this actual map itself though. Well, I have good stuff on the map, but I don't have any emblems on it. None were close enough. Let my computer warm up here. Alright, I'll take very high delirious 14s if they drop, just to do as these connected maps to get some extra splinters, but that one was only 17% delirious. If I see like a 50 plus delirious tier like 13 or 14, I'll probably grab it though. I'm running out of, I really need a map tab, kind of running out of space for tier 15s. I've got 2 full tabs worth of 15s and 16s, 2 full stash tabs. So I think I have around 300 extra tier 15s and 16s currently. And a map tab would be great because I don't really want to mass sell them. I don't like using any kind of external, for instance, Discord channels to sell massive maps. I don't like to use those at all for anything really, but yeah, it'll be difficult. Oops, reflex. Be difficult to kind of organize all of them and go through them. we don't get something soon. I might just get another quad tab when they go on sale. I do have some extra points from the points I got from the initial pack in order to get into Path of Exile 2. So I could just get another quad tab and just have a quad tab of tier 15s and 16s instead. That would free up a lot of space for me. But hopefully... Whoa, what's going on here? Alright. Oh, okay. Okay, so I'm trying some new tech, but it seems to put me back in the territory of draining my mana too quick. So, new tech I'm trying out is I'm trying Voltaic Mark on top of Sniper's Mark. Problem with Voltaic Mark is it does not have a cooldown like Sniper's Mark does, and so it'll just consistently spam out. And having a high level of that plus Eye of Winter is creating some problems even with all of the extra like cooldown stuff to slow me down. So I think I'm going to have to remove that. You can definitely see that on the single target. My thought was that basically every time Sniper's Mark was up, it would kind of, you know, replace the Voltaic Mark, and then I'd get a bunch of extra shock effect and stuff. But I think it's too harsh on the mana. Puts me back in the situation where I'm draining down to no mana quickly. And I'd like to, you know, be moving out of the mana stacking bit a little bit so I can get some extra damage on like my rings and stuff, for instance, or jewels. Rings or jewels could be upgraded, so I'm definitely not going to be running Voltaic Mark. I also don't really notice the explode from it during mapping because I one-shot most stuff except at very high Delirium, which case not really. But even for something like this, this is what, 20-something Delirious? You'll run into occasional enemies like that where... But my Ice Strike itself will one-shot most things, but often the Charge Staff bolts won't. So, yeah, this is an LE resistant and 32% Delirious. Yeah. LE resistance doesn't really make too much of a difference, of course. One of the many strengths of Invoker is it truly doesn't matter how high their resistance is. Not really. Okay. Get some more Simulacrum splinters. You get just a lot of these in the really high Delirium maps especially. I've had a lot of maps today now that I have my second Simulacrum done where I've had like 60 plus splinters. So I'll be able to get Simulacrums much more quickly. Obviously at an only 32%, probably not going to get anywhere near that amount, but should still get a decent chunk, especially with Kosis and whatnot here. Okay. Kosis one shot. Electrocuting the little mobs. Having them do their little dance. Alright. And what my next point might be, I've been thinking a lot about where I want to put it. I kind of want to maybe put it in the one that makes the Delirium mobs, I forget what they're called, but the little shimmery areas that they come out of, these appear more often, because if that's the case, I should just get more shards. It's 50% more of them. Now, like the regular Delirium monsters that are not in those will also give shards. Ooh, got one right here. But sometimes when I pop one of these and there's like a magic or rare pack in there, I'll get a decent amount of Simulacrum splinters just from that. 18. Not too bad for only 32%. So let's go ahead and... Oh, we got a Stellar Amulet with garbage. Nothing good here. Got another Delirious map. But yeah, I'm now full up in these two tabs, and I'm starting to run low. So we got a 39% Delirious with not hard mods, so that's nice. Go ahead and exalt that up. Get some extra value chests, unfortunate. So this is kind of a throwaway one. I can use it as a travel node. But yeah, just picked up this point. I think I might pick up the Fracturing Mirrors one. 50% more is going to be... I assume the Delirium Fog counts ones that are already previously added. Yeah, we'll have constant Delirium Fog. Right, okay. So yeah, what are the other options here? There's this, which would be for doing Delirium Mirrors specifically. This should count for both, at least the first portion, so 25%. Now at a high enough Delirium, you often get like 2 Delirium bosses anyway, so that seems kind of useless. This one is also for farming mirrors, as is this one. And this one, it could be used for either. So usually Delirium bosses drop 4 splinters, so this would push it to 8. And as you can see, the Delirium bosses get 1 shot as well, just like a lot of things. So I would think maybe this and this, but this actually seems the most useful for actually getting splinters, believe it or not. Alright, so we got the new Lost Towers. I'll just throw this one in here. I haven't been putting tier 1 maps into towers now. You still can't get league mechanics on them or anything, but I do think maybe they're worth running normally now. Some of them are laid out pretty well. The one that I did most recently was basically just like a gorge straight through. This one's a little better than it used to be, at least. The regular Lost Towers. I mean, it's a little better for some builds. For my build, it's actually probably worse because you don't have the monsters as condensed. But I imagine for like minions and stuff, this would be a lot better. Not really sure how to navigate it just yet. They should have put some corpses in here, just for fun. That would have been... But yeah, it's more dead-endy. I actually think this Lost Towers is maybe just less good than the other one. I mean, density's still fine, I guess. But layout's definitely worse. I had a really good grass, and maybe I'll feel differently once I get more used to it. I think I need to turn my loot filter drop sound down a little bit. It like deafens me whenever I drop something big. I guess it gets my attention, but don't want to be standing on the burning ground. I'm thinking I should maybe just start picking up only the tier 15s that are already rare or have Delirium on them, instead of just picking them all up until we get the map tab. I don't know how they're going to do map tabs. It's probably just going to have to be, because, you know, we don't have different maps, or waystones. All the waystones are just, you know, generic waystones. There's no reason to like separate them in. So in POE1, what it would do is it would take, you'd have like so many slots for each type of map, but all the types of maps were separate items basically, if you don't know. So yeah, I mean, it's still kind of the same in that you just run the outside like any other maze until you get to the end. So it's not like it's too bad. But yeah, the previous Lost Towers, I felt like, you know, you could see basically where it was going to lead up to the stairs in a lot of cases. And that would cause a little bit of an easier time. Alright, so let's throw the quantity, and it's 19 quantity, 19 rarity versus 20 quantity. I mean, both of these are fine. It doesn't really matter. I'll be using both of them. I'm running 3 towers. So I'm going to take a couple maps to get over here. Start moving that way, get to the next tower, and get all these done. And I'll probably do a Simulacrum or a Breach boss here, but I wanted to do a couple maps first just to kind of shake the rust off, make sure my computer's running okay. Yeah, I was gonna fix the sound. The sound effects are a little bit loud. Been trying to work on my microphone. I've been messing a lot with trying to get rid of the background noise, like my computer fan and stuff. And I've been struggling a little bit with that without sounding echoey. So, messing with the noise gate and everything. I wasn't really too worried about it before I was live streaming because I could just do it raw and then filter out the sound, which is a lot easier to do. I use DaVinci Resolve to video edit, and so it's a lot easier to like throw something in there and just apply a filter that gets rid of the background noise and has a lot better quality than what OBS has naturally. But now that I'm streaming, I have to find a kind of a solution that works for both, more or less. Alright, I guess you don't really, if you kill the rare right away, the on-death effect for most of them should go away. The little thunder guys that follow you around still kind of seem to follow you after death, but the on-ground effects do go away immediately if the rare dies, which is a nice little update. Alright, I'm going to turn, because this is kind of getting at me a little bit. So I'll keep the music up since I'm not really sure what music I can stream or whatever. I used to stream copyright-free music when I streamed on YouTube, but I got strikes anyway because it was unclear as far as like there were people claiming the copyrights for things that were listed as copyright-free music, and I know YouTube has its own kind of music library, so that should all be safe now. So I'd have to like go through and find a bunch of songs that I'd like to listen to while streaming. There's some pretty good ones. I don't have too big of a variety. I have like 5 of them that I use on my videos. Should probably expand that out too a little bit. Now that I'm back to editing my videos finally. Alright. I feel like playing is less urgent now, because now I can kind of get everything going. I think after I'm going to finish up like my full guide here that I'm working on, which is going slow because I think in Path of Exile 2, POE2 launched today though, that'll help a lot. And in fact, I think it just launched maybe slightly before I started the stream, but that will help a ton. But because there's less deterministic ways of getting gear and everything, making a guide is hard because it's like, well, I can't tell you to get like certain rolls on your gear. I mean, I guess you can buy them if you're on Trade League, but it's not super helpful, and metagear becomes expensive really quickly. So if a guide takes off, then, you know, telling people to buy the gear is kind of counterintuitive because all of a sudden the like lower threshold for getting that gear is going to be way up there. Alright, got ourselves a little boss here. I didn't even notice that this was a boss map. Drop the bell. Oh yeah, I forgot to get rid of Voltaic Mark. Anything? Nope. Okay. So I lost track of my train of thought here. Oh, yeah, POE2 is out, so I'll be able to make guides more easily, but it's going to be more of a coloring book approach rather than a paint-by-numbers approach. Like, I think making guides for POE1, it's like, okay, well, I can tell you what you need to do to make Frostblade's Claw, for instance, and this is a step-by-step thing you can follow, even if you're in solo self-found, and you'll be able to get an endgame claw. The same doesn't ring true for Path of Exile 2. Do you lose XP when dying? Yeah, you lose, if you're in the end game, you do not in the axe currently, I believe, but in the end game, once you're in the end game map system and you've gone through all the axe, you'll lose 10% every time you die. So, yeah, it's kind of a pain to to die, and I might be dying here soon because I'll be doing a Simulacrum, and that is the content recently, other than Arbiter of Ash when I was practicing that fight, which I've gotten quite good at. Haven't died in that in a while, but other than Arbiter of Ash, Simulacrum's by far the thing I've died to the most. However, I am not running acrobatics currently, so it should be a lot easier to beat Simulacrum. Like, I was able to get the last Simulacrum I did beaten because I didn't drop to a super low amount of evasion when, you know, if you run into an accuracy mod or roll on your Simulacrum, then they'll start hitting you and your Wind Dancer stacks will start going down, which will decrease your evasion. So I have 21,000 evasion, and let me find like some enemies here. Ranged enemies preferably. Okay, never mind. The other thing about Wind Dancer, oh, it did go down. So the other thing, yeah, let these guys hit me for a sec. So 21,000, then I get hit a couple of times and it goes down to 11,000. And so I only had 10,000 evasion with acrobatics. And so when I was hit, it would go down to 5,000. And all of a sudden, when you're fighting, you know, monster level 82 accurate enemies, 5,000 isn't enough to even evade like a third of them. And you're getting hit a lot and chain stunned. And before you know it, you're dead. So, but yeah, now I'm going to do a quick boss. So I think I'll start with the Breach one. I'm going to take Voltaic Mark off. So I was testing this, and it just doesn't seem to be very good. So I'll get rid of Voltaic Mark, and I'll just put on a support for Eye of Winter. So let's go with Deceleration. Give it a little bit less projectile speed. So even though Eye of Winter isn't doing that much damage, in fact, it's doing an incredibly low amount of damage, this will make it hit so much, and since we're proccing it so much, should still at least contribute to the damage. So if you didn't see my video, I've kind of solved the cast on crit problem. Before it was draining way too much mana. All I had to do was put another spell with at a low level with a low mana cost that's just pure utility, in this case Frost Bomb. But the thing about it, it has a cooldown time. So it will contribute to the energy cost. Oop, gotta go grab my actual breach thing here. So got this, gotta separate it and then add it, and it becomes a nice little breach stone. Go over back to the starting area here, and let's do a breach boss. Cast on shock or crit. I find shock to be really unreliable, especially if you're running multiple spells, so I really want to be able to run Sniper's Mark as well, because my crit damage is quite high as a baseline, so it basically adds around 350 crit damage when it does go off, which makes for extremely large bursts. And it puts me well over 1,000 now, crit damage. And even though it's only once every 2 seconds, that's it's just a big chunk of damage. So it's like 33% more, and especially if I manage to hit it on my third strike, my Ice Strike. There's no way to control that, of course, but yeah. Cast on shock is kind of unreliable, even if you're running the same support setup that I am, which will actually reduce your shock duration by 50%. Shocks are still long enough that you're not getting that much energy that quickly, and you're not getting it against like rares, especially in maps. So yeah, it won't proc super often. Yeah, I tried cast on shock. It's actually fine against bosses specifically. So I guess if you're not really worried about you know, non-bosses and with Eye of Winter, then it's okay. But yeah, this will help a lot more in things like Simulacrum, for instance, where there are legitimately difficult rare monsters that'll scale up with, or if you're doing Delirium content, you'll run into rares that are actually quite strong. And cast on shock is very unreliable against just like rares and stuff with multiple spells. Just takes too long. I guess you could run, like, get some additional energy gain as well. And that would free up a little spirit, but truly I have a lot of spirit, so Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, there's a lot of things to consider, I guess, overall. But as a budget option, if you're not able to get a good chest armor and you can't get enough spirit to do cast on crit, then I guess cast on shock is a perfectly fine replacement. And I should probably mention that when I do my guide as well. It would allow people to get in for a much cheaper price, because currently the minimum price for cast on, or for the body armor you need for the full setup, the minimum price is something like 4 divines, I think, currently. Bare minimum, so that'll help quite a bit. Alright, let's see how this goes. Should be fine with deceleration. I want to see if there's any noticeable difference in DPS. Partially, too, because I actually swapped what's socketed in my weapon. It actually seems like I have lower. Seems like every time I'm filming and do this boss, I seem to get a Hand of Wisdom in action. I don't know why, but every time, like, I filmed for my video, got a Hand of Wisdom in action. Now I'm streaming and got one. Very, very consistent. If the OBS is running, I'll be getting a Hand of Wisdom in action. Seems to be the case. Alright, so it does seem slower. I had percent elemental damage instead of the crit damage bonus soul cores in my weapon before. And after making the switch, it seems like the elemental damage was just more damage. So I'll probably have to switch back. Yeah. So that's the only change I really made. I guess I moved a little bit. No, I just got more crit damage, really, is all that changed. So, yeah, I will swap those back. I just wanted to see, because I know stacking more crit damage bonus is going to be good, but I think I just don't have enough percent damage. All of my percent damage is coming from, like, Deadly Force, these ones here, so this is, what, 70% here. I get another 36% here. I get from... Yeah, rare and uniques, I get 30% here, so we're at 136%, and then another 50% for 2 of my damage types here, so we'll just call that, yeah, we'll just call that 186% damage, and then I get probably around 60 most of the time, let's say 45 to 60, I'll just call it 50 average. So 230 something. So percentage wise, I actually get more value, and I think that's all of my damage. Oh, and 10% here, and 50% there, but only if they're frozen. So I think percentage wise, the 60% elemental damage is actually higher. So I'm going to buy some of those. Oh yeah, you can gamble now in the hideout. Pretty cool. But it was worth testing out. I was pretty sure that was the case. It was hard to see without having POB, but now that POB2 is out, you'll be able to much more easily figure out what is going to give you the best bang for your buck in terms of soul cores. We'll go ahead and grab... Oh, these are quite expensive now. They never used to be this much. Huh. Well, I don't care. I'll still get them because... I mean, if you look at the tooltip, obviously that's going to go up, like 161, 167, 172. So clearly that's going to be the case, but I wasn't sure once all of the, like, crit buffs were up and everything, like all of the crit weakness. Like, ideally, like, the flat fire damage here would just be, you know, 120 increased elemental damage with attacks. If that were the case, I'm pretty sure the 2 critical damage bonus would be stronger. But as it stands, I don't think that will be true. I'm going to keep some, these are 82. Yeah, I'm going to keep some 82 breach rings. I'm not just going to elk these because I want to do some essence crafting with them later. Let's go ahead and corrupt the Hand of Wisdom in action. Actually, hang on. Make this a little less painful. There you go. Okay, let's go for 4% attack speed and 1 to 12 lightning damage, please. Penetrates cold resist. Eh. Not the best. What is the one I currently have stashed? I think for my stat stacker, this has higher int, but I think probably 2 sockets is going to be better. I could just sell these. I don't know how much Hand of Wisdom in action is going for. I'll just throw it in for like 2 divine. So somebody buys it. Maybe that's bad. Maybe that's way too little, but I don't really feel like price checking it right now. Oops. Now I gotta switch back to my regular mouse and keyboard. Alright, so that is that done. Now I'll do a... let's do the Simulacrum. I think doing a Simulacrum next will be fun. Get that finished. Do I want to make any changes before I do the Simulacrum? I don't think so. Yeah, we'll just do it as is. But yeah, I have overcharge, and even with the less shock duration, the cast on shock feels a little worse. So cast on crit it is. Ooh. Hopefully my noise filter filtered that out. That was a pretty loud neck pop. A little stiff today. Need to do some stretching. Alright, so this is going to be a... Oh, well, there you go. Instant invite. I'm sure I'll get several other. I probably underpriced this pretty considerably, but it's fine. Okay. Wait for him to pop over here, get my 2 divines, and move on. Alright, trade. Mic sounds a bit bad. You're probably right. I've been trying to figure out my mic for a couple of days here. Thank you. Let me see if I can... Because I have like some filters on, so let me mess with my filters here. So I'm going to try the better noise gate suppression, and I'll try turning my gate down or my gain down a little bit, so maybe I'm not peaking as much. All right, does that sound better? I know that the better noise suppression, because of how powerful my... Oh yeah, duh. I almost put in a map and threw away my Simulacrum. Because of how loud my computer fan is, the technically more efficient or better quality noise gate actually makes it sound like I'm kind of underwater. Okay. I'll keep it like that for now. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out like a good solution that works both for, because my last few videos, the sound quality's been really bad too, because I've been trying to find settings in my OBS to work for both streaming. I love how you can attack these right away, and you don't have to sit there and, you know, have them be invisible or invincible for like a second after they come out. So nice. Yeah, I should get used to... I need to use my bell like a lot during these. Yeah. Because the heralds do not work in Delirium in the actual Simulacrum. They work on regular Delirium monsters and mats because they have bodies, but they actually won't work in the Simulacrum because when they die, they just disappear. They don't leave corpses. And as a result, your heralds don't work. Very important thing to note. So I'm losing a lot of clear value and like AoE overlap. So using my bell a lot is going to be helpful to kind of make up for that. Alright. Try to burn through these pretty quick. When I first did this, I thought it was going to, like, the first couple points were going to start you at, like, 5 waves, and then it'd go up to 10 waves, 15, etc. But nope, it is 15 all the way up. Try to make sure to not get surrounded. But yeah, it's a lot better with and protect me from harm as compared to acrobatics to do Simulacrum at my current level of gearing. I think if I get like really high end, mirror tier gear, then maybe acrobatics would be better. But yeah, for Delirium specifically, that seems to be the case. The stash is there. Here it is. Okay. I don't know if it moves randomly, because sometimes it seems like it only stays in the same area for like one round or for one wave, and then sometimes it seems like it stays in there for several waves. So I should be paying more attention to the actual mods, because I might want to make like gearing and gem choices based on certain mods. One time when like there was a bunch of extra ailment threshold and I was actually paying attention, I added freeze duration. Actually, that's not helpful. If it was glaciation, that would have been helpful, but now that I think about it, might be good for like damage mods too. Okay, chain, resist, remove charges. None of this is dangerous particularly. This should all be pretty straightforward. Just a little. Yeah, and we're gonna have a little bit of the effect from the resistances, because we're not going to get a lot of crit weakness against just random mods like this. Not super high proc on the... There you go. You get a lot of proc on the bosses, of course, for the Eye of Winter. But the procs on the regular mobs are going to be kind of bad. Even with cast on crit. Right. Although part of that is because of the efforts we've made so that it doesn't over-proc on bosses. All right, what do we got here? Armor break, curses, elemental resistance, nothing relevant. I think armor break just straight up doesn't work with protect me from harm, because what protect me from harm does, it doesn't actually give you armor, but it makes your evasion count as armor. So I think, I have 0 armor. When they break 50% of my armor, they're breaking 0, but I still get 21,000 armor. Because, yeah, my armor calculation is impacted by my evasion. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I'm not 100% sure, and I have no idea how one would go about testing that. But I guess you could... Yeah, I'm not sure at all, actually. Test that. Maybe you'd have to isolate like a monster in a map that had that mod and kind of just keep your stats thing pulled open. And see, because you shouldn't be able to go below 0 armor, and I'm pretty sure my base armor is 0 now. I don't have any armor anywhere, so should work that way. Curses, armored. Get the bell down. I put a lot more damage on my bell, so it should do quite a bit more burst now, which is also helpful. Alright. Get that. Although one of the things I did is I put primal armament. Or not primal armament. I put elemental focus on my bell. I don't think I rely on my bell for any elemental ailment, but I'm not really sure. Okay, same thing a little bit. Castlevania Nocturne Season 2 sucks. I saw the first season of the Castlevania anime, which is what I assume you're talking about, partially. It was on like a Tinder date after I had my breakup, and I had this girl come over, and she was apparently a fan of it, and we ended up watching it, and I enjoyed it, but because the date didn't go well, I just never watched any more of it, so not super familiar with it. But yeah, if it sucks, well, I guess I'll just not watch it. I'll take your word for it. But I kind of like the first season, at least. Is there another monster here, or am I blind? Okay. Sometimes it seems like they just take a while to finish the wave. Why did it suck? I guess, yeah, if it requires context of the previous seasons, I guess it wouldn't be helpful to ask that, but just, bad story, bad characters, bad animation. What are we talking here? pacing. Was it the pacing? Nobody likes bad pacing. Oop. Plot was contrived, undercooked, went off the rails as well. Ah, yeah, that's fair. Most of what I know about Castlevania, I played the original I watched the anime. I played the original Super Nintendo version as well as the Nintendo 64 one, which I actually loved the Nintendo 64 one. I played the absolute shit out of that one. But yeah, I'm not overly familiar with the lore of Castlevania. But it is a franchise I'm aware of, at least. And I've enjoyed parts of it. I really liked the, what do they call them? Like the sectum or whatever? The little, like, the throwing weapon, the little circular throwing weapon that you had as the girl character in the N64 Castlevania. Instead of, if you were the guy character, I think you got the whip. And if you were the girl character, you got the little throwing thing. I don't know what they're called. I don't remember. But that was really cool. Pretty neat weapon. Also, one of the cool things about the N64 Castlevania is depending on which character you had. Oh, no, I should pay attention. Okay. Alright, pay attention. Don't lose focus. I'm getting to the phase of the Delirium, or of the Simulacrum, where I actually need to focus. Watch my health and stuff. Or I could die. And that's not great. I would prefer not to. Because I'm pretty sure simulacrums are pretty expensive. Not as expensive as they probably were, because they increased the drop rate of splinters, I think. So they'll probably go down quite a bit. I already noticed that the fragments, the crisis fragments, have dropped considerably. Okay, this one's actually going to be hard, because this one has ailment threshold and life. So that's going to really mess with my, like, ailments and stuff. So I have to be really careful on this wave. I'll probably, just do a couple of hits to get combo up and then drop the bell and then circle out and kind of repeat that process over and over again. Drop the bell, and then hide behind the bell, use the bell to kind of clear things out. Try to get on top of the boss, drop the bell. Okay. Try not to get hit by all those ground effects. Almost die anyway. Do the circle. Alright. Boy, yeah, that one was this one was pretty tough. Ooh. Yikes. Okay. Let's see. What are we at? 13? Unfortunately, this one isn't as bad. It's still going to be a little tougher because things are going to be higher health, extra energy shield, extra damage. So I still got to be careful, but it shouldn't be as bad. Oop. Get on top of the bell. I should really get a little bit of AoE in my build, or a little bit more AoE. Just so that, okay, well, I just dropped my bell before the bosses, so I'm going to have to wait a sec to engage them. Get out of there. Drop the bell down. Oh, no. Get out of there. Alright, let's regroup. Drop the bell. Frozen. Okay. Alright. Close calls. Yeah, the last Simulacrum is going to be really hard. This one's already pretty tough. So, alright. Life, damage, extra chaos. That one doesn't matter. Okay, this one should be a little bit easier. I should still be careful, though, because there is like 76% extra damage. There's nothing to scoff at still. But should be easier than the last two, in theory. At least. Okay, drop the bell. And also, failing it right at the end would feel really bad, so We got both bosses. They're spawning on top of each other, so just drop the bell, hit them both. Cool. Nice. Throws him in midair. Look at this guy, Air Jordan over there, thinking he's going to Space Jam. Alright. And just clean up. Okay, last one. You don't get a lot of just raw drops from these. Maybe you do once you have like everything set up and whatnot, but I'll take the amethyst ring or whatever. Extra cold, evasive, life and damage. Okay. Alright. Oh, don't tell me I'm gonna fall. I don't want to. Get in. Nice thing is a lot of times you can just get in, freeze stuff, and it lets you kind of reassess the situation a little bit. Build up combo. Keep on the edges. Get on the bosses. They're not grouped up this time. Okay, I guess I grouped them up. Get off. I see burning ground. I don't want to be standing on burning ground. Get the rare. Everything's kind of frozen, so it should just be clean up now. And that should do it. Alright. Ooh, that was a little tougher than I anticipated. Okay, next points. So, in order to get my next one quicker, I think I'll just get the mirrors. That should help me earn some more Simulacrum splinters. That was fun, though. Alright, now let's get to that Citadel. I'm really going to juice up the Citadel. Okay, I didn't have one of them, apparently. Ooh, wow. This is a nice little hybrid armor. 400, already 400, and tier 11 flat energy shield, tier 6%. And then 201, tier 13 max life. Wow. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and roll this up. Let's see what we can get out of this. Maybe I can... I don't even know if anybody uses hybrid stuff. Okay. Get this. Alright. We're probably just going to Exalt Slam. Intelligence, that's always good. And reduced attribute requirements. Not great. Throw in a couple of these bad boys. Get it up to 676 ES with 201 life. That's crazy. Now we do this. And now it is 735 ES with 201 max life, intelligence, and some cold resist. And faster start of energy shield recharge. That is quite a good... I'm going to have to actually price check that later. I'm not going to throw that in for some random amount of divs. If there's not a market for hybrid gear like that, then I will run it in a build for myself. Alright, this one's got lightning and chaos resist with a lot of flask mana recovery rate. Oh, oh no, not that. Not that. Okay, 93 maximum life. Get power up, Super Saiyan. Do vampires go Super Saiyan? Is that a thing that happens? Boy. Really good mana, really good cold. Okay, let's give it a shot. We need to hit the enter the fire resist off this. Hit cold damage. That's not okay. That's not good enough. And this one's bad as well. This is... Yeah, I'm not going to bother. Not going to bother with that. Ah, I see it. Every power-up is just Super Saiyan. Hey, it wasn't out of nowhere. Frieza had been talking about it the whole arc, okay? And then, actually, it was talked about even before that. Ooh, I didn't even see this one. Okay. Low cold. Okay, it's dead. It's all dead. And then this one is Delirium. Increases faster from mirrors. It's got rarity. Maybe I use it just to put some Delirium on something. Alright, back to mapping. But yeah, that makes sense. It's probably the most iconic power up in media generally. So just referring to everything as Super Saiyan is probably a reasonable thing, and most people would know what you mean for the most part. Yeah, there is a lot of that. Let's see, I haven't been watching a ton of anime lately. I watched the Cyberpunk one when that came out. I've watched Bochi the Rock, which was pretty good. Yeah, I'm behind. My list is huge because I just don't watch much anime anymore. Usually I just watch anime when I'm like hanging with friends for the weekend and they're watching anime. I used to watch it a lot on my own. So I end up seeing like maybe one new anime every 4 months or so for the last couple years. And I have a large list of stuff I do want to watch, including, seasons to shows I started, like Jujutsu Kaisen, ReZero. We got, what else got new seasons since then? There's a lot. There's a ton. But, yeah, I'm just super far behind. What's the most important on map? Pack size or quantity? Um, I think more packs is usually going to be better than map size. It kind of depends. So in this particular case, so I'm going specifically for waystones found in area because I'm about to do a Citadel, and that will increase the amount of fragments that drop from the Citadel. But if you're doing like breach farming, you probably want quantity and rarity, and increase amount of rare monsters if you're doing like rarity breach farming. And quantity is just generally good because you're going to get more stuff. More stuff is always good, but usually you want to kind of complement that with increased rare monsters and rarity as well. And then for like experience, you want stuff like pack size, increased monster packs. Although increased monster packs helps with magic find as well, because if you have more packs, then you'll potentially have more rare and magic packs as well. So it'll definitely depend on what you're going for. If I just want experience, I would go for like more packs, pack size, magic monsters, and experience, for instance. And then I would be trying to get those on tier 16s and going on corrupted and irradiated maps. But yeah, it just really depends. But for Citadel farming, the number one thing you want is definitely going to be waystone find chance or waystone quantity, and then chance to get waystone, which I guess are different. Are they different? I think they're worded differently, but they get lumped up together in the actual map description. Cyberpunk. Yeah, Cyberpunk was pretty awesome. I'm big Trigger fanboy, and everything kind of even prior to Trigger that led up, like all of the Gurren Lagann, Kill la Kill, Promare. What else do we got? There's a lot of stuff Trigger's done. They've done some not so great stuff too, like Darling in the Franxx, which, uh, yeah, Darling in the Franxx was special. I think it could have been good if it was like twice as long and built up properly, but it was pretty bad as is. But generally, I'll watch anything that Trigger comes out with. And when I saw that they were going to be doing Cyberpunk, I was like, well, I play the Cyberpunk tabletop RPG now with friends, like every so many Sundays. We kind of cycle through D&D, a couple of homebrew games, and the Cyberpunk game. So I do that. You do start watching Dragon's Dogma. I don't know if I've even heard of that one yet. I haven't been following anime that much either. Like, there are some that I am aware of that are out there that just get talked about. Every once in a while, I'll watch like one of the big like anime videos. Like, I'll watch Gigak's best anime of X or whatever year it is, or biggest trash of the season type stuff. But that's more or less the only anime. I wanted to watch Chainsaw Man quite a bit too. because I read the manga, and I know the mangaka is known for. Well, I read a little bit of the manga at the very start, and the mangaka for that is known for making really like weird, avant-garde, messed up stuff. So that's in my wheelhouse for sure. Dragon's Dogma, worse score than Darling in the Franxx. Oh, yeah, I don't think I've heard of Dragon's Dogma. I'll have to check. Well, I'm not going to check it out if it's bad, but I'll have to at least look up what it is. I'm sure. Uh, I kind of wanted to get back into Gundam again too. I watched some Gundam Wing, which was one of my favorite anime growing up, and I'm like, yeah, this still holds up. So I wanted to get back into Gundam. So I watched Iron Blooded Orphans. I'm like, wow, Iron Blooded Orphans is really nice. I know Gundam kind of fell off for a while. Like Gundam Seed was the last Gundam I had watched, and I didn't like it. But apparently Gundam's kind of back in the good graces of people again. As far as a lot of people, it's pretty well received. Been putting out good series now. I do not. I used to have time to watch bad anime so that I could get, at least for a couple of episodes, so that I could get my own opinion on them. But now my process for watching anime is if several friends whose opinions I trust on media, like people who have similar kind of taste to me, enjoy something and recommend it, then I'll watch it. But otherwise, I just straight up won't watch it because I don't want to risk my time watching anything mediocre when I could be, playing Path of Exile or something in my free time. Only has 7 episodes. Well, that is not a lot of episodes. I could probably get through it pretty quick, but even still, yeah, I need several people I trust to tell me that something's good nowadays to get through it or to get into it even. Still trash. Well, you know, there is a lot of that out there. I mean, they make so much anime now, and it was already to the point when I stopped watching it consistently. Cause, back when they only did like 20 anime per season or something, I would watch most anime that came out. I was like one of those people who would watch pretty much everything every season. But it got to the point where they started putting more and more out, and more of it started to be just kind of unoriginal rehashes of the same kind of stuff. Like when Isekai, I mean, that was already the case for like harem anime and stuff for a long time, but it just got worse. It got to the point where you wouldn't have like good original anime, maybe like 1 or 2 a season, basically, would be good. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be spending all this time watching all this stuff so that I can get this is a good armor, but I don't think anybody uses armor energy shield bases. Like, this is good. I should be exalting it at least to see what I can get. But my problem is, I'm pretty sure literally nobody uses armor energy shield. Maybe now that it's been buffed. Okay, we got double flat. So we need a huge percentage roll, maybe. Okay, thorns. Great. That makes my decision easier. What do we got here? 30 rarity on 1 roll. I have to at least try on this one. Accuracy. Yeah, 30 rarity. So we got some life, got some evasion. Well, you can go into my generic MF thing that I can look through to see if it's worth anything. A masochist when it comes to anime, that's fair. Sometimes things are so bad they're good, but it takes a special kind of anything really to be in that area. Like your Troll 2, for instance, if we're talking about movies. Just so campy and over the top that it is actually pretty good. Ooh, rare monsters have chance for an additional modifier is nice as well. Sinking Spire. I think this one isn't that great. I'm just gonna throw a blank. Actually, I'll elk and go this. I don't want to waste a Delirious map on. I'm not familiar with the towers yet. I know the layouts of some of them, but not all of them. Just bad. Wish to never graced your eyes. Well, that's what you get for being a masochist, I guess. You've done this to yourself and you liked it, you bastard, you filthy bastard. Yeah, I used to be like that too, though. I just wanted to have an educated opinion. I wanted to be able to tell people why something was bad. Listen, I know you really like World Trigger, but I have to tell you why it was bad. That was kind of my thing. Although World Trigger ended up being a little better than I thought it was initially. I don't know why that one came to my head to begin with. Oh yeah, this is kind of the uh, pyramid-shaped one. It's similar to the temple, the Sun Temple, in that it's shaped like a triangle, and the entrances to go up seem to be either on the edges or kind of in this middle triangle area. So, or in the corners, I should say. Yeah, I'm still learning all the layouts of the towers. I've done them all now, but I don't think I fully have a grasp on them yet. But this one's pretty easy. This was the first one that I kind of understood. Just the first time I ran through it. It's very easy. Is that an Ungle's Harmony or is this the dodge roll amulet? I don't remember. I think it's a dodge roll one. I do want one with the corrupted additional distance on it, just for some speed leveling. I have a ranger that has like 80 movement speed in Act 3, and if I can get a 1 or plus 1.2 meter dodge roll, then I can just zoom around like crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, I wanted to make a Deadeye that got like 200% move speed or something so that I could just uh, go from Citadel to Citadel ultra quick. And that's a lot easier now. I haven't really shown my map, uh, but I've just kind of been showing this. But boy, now that we can see the Citadels in the fog, it's super nice. Really, really nice. The orange is the copper, the white is the steel, and the blue is the stone. Okay, so this last one, it's always going to be in the middle. So it's always a corner for the first 3 floors. How many floors are there? I'll be able to check with this checkpoint, I think, maybe, or not. I guess the map dies on levels. Some things that have levels will display the levels next to each other, but that doesn't seem to be the case here. What if I do this? Okay, no. So I guess the world may never know. I think there was a total of 4. So 3, 1, corner, 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 middle is what those towers are going to be. All right. Yeah, this is the dodge roll one. So let's see. 1.1. I did get, okay, that was kind of what I was looking for. It's a little better. It's not the best it can be, but good enough. Maybe I should anoint, well, not worth it. Nice. I'm lucky today, man. I got this really sick hybrid body armor. I got, oh yeah, no spirit. That's another thing, though. I doubt there's a lot of builds that would run hybrid that wouldn't also want spirit on their body armor. Because I forget that non-monks just need spirit on like every piece of gear. Does this... No, this isn't going to reach a Citadel, so it'll just be these 3. Let's see. We'll do this one. And then lastly, I just need to get this mesa. So do I want to go through seepage or backwash? I guess it doesn't matter too much. Maybe there's not going to be a ton of overlap for this one anyway. Do I have a tier 16 that I can do? Maybe I can juice some XP out of this. I mean, I definitely have a tier 16, but do I have one that I actually want to run? Let's... Because most of my tier 16s are awful because I just corrupt the ones that I don't want to run. This one's fine. It's just ailment threshold. It isn't that bad. Okay. Let's do an 82 map just to get a little bit of experience to extract some value out of this. Can't bait you into anime debates anymore. Not about any modern anime. If you wanna try to pull up some old school anime to chat about, I'd be more than willing to engage in that. If I have an opinion or if I remember. But yeah, it's gonna be hard. Do you have any strong recommendations from the last 3 or 4 years? of stuff I might not have seen that was really good. That would be maybe more helpful. And then I can see if it lines up with my other buddies who like anime and whether or not it might narrow down what I'm going to watch next. Because at some point, when there's kind of a lull in the new POE2 stuff, and if there's no POE1 League, although I do kind of want to try the new Torchlight Infinite season as well. So I might do that. We'll see. If the patch, or if this new patch hadn't launched, I probably would be trying Torchlight Infinite, but I do want to... Well, first of all, I still need to try new builds. I played so much on Invoker that I haven't really given the rest of the classes a fair shake, the rest of the Ascendancies. I do have a lot of ideas for them. I just really wanted to perfect this build as much as I could. And I think I have a strong enough understanding of this now that I can finally move on, maybe. Maybe I'll get level 97 at least, and then I'll move on. So I'm kind of getting there. Doing some maps like this will help. Lara Croft anime was bad? Well, I don't want to know what's bad. I want to know what's good. So let me see. Things that are currently on my list are going to be Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 and maybe 3. I don't know if there's a 3. I'm going to probably end up watching Oshi no Ko. Got recommended that a few times, which I think Season 2 just came out. ReZero, I still haven't... I watched the first 2 episodes of Season 2. But I hadn't seen the movie, nor had I mean, it was so long in between season 1 and 2 that I had kind of lost, I kind of forgot how things went in the first season. And so I felt a little bit lost because they truly do just pick up straight up where they left off. It's not like some of them where it can almost be its own self-contained. And so over time you kind of are reminded, oh yeah, this happened, because just from seeing the characters, they kind of just go straight into it. Season 2 was so boring you stopped watching. Oh, okay, well, oops, maybe not that. I know Solo Leveling was popular. It's an adaptation of a manhwa, but I actually read the manhwa almost all the way through, so I don't think I need to watch the anime. Unless there were major changes made, which I would have no idea. But yeah, I don't feel the need to read and watch something anymore. I used to do that a lot too, though. I'd read and then watch whatever, you know. But that, I don't think I'll be doing that. What are some other ones? I can't remember. I have a list. I made a list of anime, but I don't remember where I put it. Of stuff I need to potentially watch based on recommendations. Okay. Yeah, I do seem to be getting a good amount of XP on this. I should be doing level 82 zones a little bit more. I don't want to corrupt all of my maps to try to get 16s and then find all the stuff. You do still get just as much experience from just like breaches, basically. So if you just hit a 10 breach map, you're probably going to hit, a couple, at least for the duration of that, a couple 100 million experience an hour for that 10 minutes or whatever. Dragon Ball Daima? Oh yeah, that's the last one that Toriyama made before he died, wasn't it? I'll have to give that one a shot. I haven't watched much. I watched a little bit of Super, but really didn't like it. I've lost interest in Dragon Ball for a while, but I guess, it was a big part of my childhood, so I guess I'd have to give Daima a watch just out of respect at some point. Maybe, if it's good. If it's bad, I still won't watch it, but yeah. Just hasn't been my cup of tea. If I'm gonna watch like a battle shonen, it's gotta really have something special to it to keep my attention anymore, because I've been out of interest for those for quite a long time now. Got rarity. Chests, of course it's chests. It's always chests. Alright, well, off you go. Off you go. Okay. And now we got... Oh yeah, we got the tower. I guess I can just use that then. This is fine. Yeah, we'll just use this one. Throw my bad map in here. How am I looking for my next Simulacrum? 75. Yeah, I haven't been doing enough Delirious maps because I've been doing all these towers, which I don't run Delirious. I'll have to see. I want to try to get 3 fragments from the, since it's a copper citadel. Okay. Oh, that's another one that was on my list. Dondadon? Dondadon. Some people said that was really good. So Tensai Shitara Kendeshta. Genius. Ken is Ken's sword. I don't remember. I haven't been following my Weebanese in a long time. Arctic Strongbox. So yeah. Strongboxes are better. I still don't want to open them unless they have like a good thing on them, and I'm also not going to be carrying around transmutes and augments to roll them. So unless they have like something good, I will identify them and at least take a look. They've got like is guarded by 2 additional rare packs or something, then I'll definitely run them because that's probably going to be a couple exalt or something. But yeah, otherwise not so much. Reincarnated as a sword. Okay. All right. Tensei. For some reason I thought Tensei, or is that Tensai? Meant genius. Reincarnated. Maybe the Shitara part is. Oh man, Mesa's really short. Hey, just wondering, is that Maxwell link to your build from video 5 days ago very out of date to this point? It is not very out of date, but it is missing an extremely important component, which is adding Frost Bomb to the cast on crit. I don't know if you saw my video yesterday, Jacob, but this cuts the mana cost of cast on crit in half, and it stops you from draining your full bar of mana all the time. So adding that to the cast on crit. So my current cast on crit setup, they fixed the thing where you could get energy from the skills linked with cast on crit. So Eye of Winter will no longer, by critting, give you energy and cause an infinite feedback loop. So you can get rid of Controlled Destruction and then replace it with Frost Bomb. And if you have an extra link, I now just have Deceleration in there, which kind of keeps the Eye of Winter on top of things a little bit longer. I could probably find some more utility to put on there instead, but yeah, I think this is fine. Do you need a 5 link on this? No, you don't any longer. So now the core setup is going to be Eye of Winter, Sniper's Mark, Frost Bomb, and Inspiration. And maybe you don't even need Inspiration anymore. So you might be able to do this with just 3 supports, but I would say probably still going to need Inspiration. So yeah, the 5th support is not mandatory anymore at all. Like previously you would have needed Controlled Destruction, so before yesterday, yes, you would have needed 5 supports, but currently you should be able to do it with just 4. Very cool, thank you. Also, could you hover over your body armor real quick? Sure. Yeah, I've got a lot. So this is a 1390 530 body armor with good stun threshold as well. But yeah, this is going to be providing me with 180 spirit. So if I take this off, I go down to 100. So yeah, 180 spirit. It also contributes to almost 3,000 of my energy shield and about 1,000 of my ES currently. And the current version of the build I'm running is not Acro. I'm running Protect Me From Harm. You would run Acro normally. The reason I'm running Protect Me From Harm today is specifically because I'm doing simulacrums, and if I have 10,000 evasion, which is also depending on Wind Dancer in simulacrum, I will get wombo comboed down real hard. So what will happen is I'll be doing simulacrum, all of a sudden the line enemies are more accurate will come up, and then I'll get hit more often. And then my wind dancer will go down, and I'll go down to 5,000 evasion against accurate enemies. All of a sudden, instead of getting hit 1 in 5 times or 1 in 8 times or something, I'm getting hit 2 out of 3 times. And so when that starts happening, I get stun locked and then I die. So for Simulacrum specifically, I respec out of I Am the Thunder and into And Protect Me from Harm, and out of acrobatics, and I just threw that in like 18% crit damage bonus. So that's kind of the consideration. Sometimes you need to swap. I think the amount of evasion you would need for Simulacrum would probably be pretty high, or a much higher energy shield pool, or a better way to recover energy shield. One of those things. So yeah, just something to kind of keep in mind. Sometimes you need to swap things around a little bit. All right, let's throw this in here and do one more map. Do this Oasis, or I'd rather do the Oasis, I think, than Channel, and I'd definitely rather do the Oasis than Headland. May as well get, or Headland, probably. Headland. I don't want to run any of these tier 16s. They all suck. Actually, this one isn't that bad. It's just Threshold again. We'll do that. May as well get the little bit of extra value out of the Irradiated and Corrupted combo. Get that extra XP while we're at it. Ooh, ouch. So what I like to do is I like to take my tier 16s and run them for the moment of Zen, like the bad ones that run roles that I don't want to run. Specifically, those are going to be less recovery, because with less recovery, I basically, every time I take significant damage, have to portal out. Because I have enough map effectiveness or map mod effectiveness that goes over 100% less recovery, which means my life flask does nothing in combination with Eternal Youth. So I basically have no way to get my ES back except for Ghost Shrouds, which give me 1,000 per, but those can go down pretty quick. Well, that is unfortunate. Maybe you should find some good anime to watch then. Get some recommendations. I'm sure there's plenty of good stuff out there. I mean, probably. Like I said, I wouldn't know. I rarely watch new anime anymore, but I will definitely get around to it. My list is ever growing, so got a lot. Last one you watched was Hunter x Hunter. I would say Hunter x Hunter's good, but I would say, with a caveat, Hunter x Hunter has two of the best, well, one of the best, it has probably the best arc out of any shonen battle anime, which is the Chimera Ant arc. And then it has another really good one, which is the York New City Spiders arc. And then the rest of the anime is kind of, to use a Zoomer term, mid, I would say. Pretty mid. Watched one called Grimgar. Grimgar, I've heard of that. One of my buddies. Oh yeah, Freeren is the other one that everybody's been recommending to me and saying that I absolutely have to watch. And it sounds like it's right up my alley. It's got, existential crisis, cozy slice of life, some action. It's got a little bit of everything. Good character development. All the fun stuff. And I do like me a good existential crisis. Sadness. Yeah. Hunter x Hunter is fantastic if you consider the two arcs that are fantastic. The rest of it's fine. Especially the last arc. If they should have just ended it on the Chimera Ant arc, because doing the election arc after that took so much wind out of the sail, it left a sour mark. Because that one was probably the worst arc of the whole series, and they just end on that. Man, rough times. Oh well. It kind of bittered my memory of watching it. If they had ended on that, I probably would be like, this is the greatest. What a show. Fantastic. But yeah, unfortunate. little little bit ruined by where it chose to end. I am looking forward to like the Dark Continent stuff when they get around to that though. Rerun looks like, I mean, you're gonna have that in stuff as long as it's not like sexualized or whatever. It's fine. Like as long as you're, which I mean, it's anime, it's a possibility, but from what I understand, that isn't the case at least. Great build. Playing it as close as I can in terms of gearing. Just wondering when the finished article will be posted on Maxwell via YouTube. I'm currently working on it. One of the issues I've been having with POE2 specifically, compared to making guides in POE1, is I kind of mentally have been thinking of it this way. POE1 was like paint by numbers. I could tell you exactly how to make a claw for a Frostblade's Trickster build that you could replicate on League Start, that you could replicate on a solo Self-Found, that you could do. But because there's such a lack of determinism in this game, and because prices are going to go up and down based on which builds are popular, it's really hard to say like exactly. What I can do though is kind of make it, rather than paint by numbers, more of a coloring book. Like here are the outlines. Here is what you need to get as kind of the baseline of this version of the build, the end game version of the build. Like I have a lot more adaptive stuff for earlier iterations or earlier versions of the build, but for this specific end game one, like you just can't do it without a certain level of like gearing and stuff. So you're going to have like the minimum required evasion and energy shield on your body armor to get enough spirit to function in the end game, for instance. And the minimum buy-in to that currently is about 4 divines. If the build becomes super popular, then the 4 divine, minimum price is going to go up and up, potentially, making it harder and harder for people to get into the build. Even worse than when this happened in Path of Exile, because it would often be the case that a popular build would drive up prices there too. But this is Path of Exile 2, it's even worse because of the lack of determinism in making gear. So, yeah, basically more like a coloring book than paint by numbers. So I have to kind of make my guide as like, here, this is the stats you're looking for. You might not be able to get all of these, but this is kind of like, more or less what you're looking to get. These are the bare minimum requirements you're going to need. But yeah, that's kind of how I view build making, and it's made it really hard to make actual guides in POE2. However, one of the helpful things is POB2, Path of Building 2, was just released like an hour or two before I started streaming. I haven't had a chance to get it yet. That's going to help a lot, because then I'll be able to just upload my character and know 100% for sure which stats are going to be kind of like optimal, and then I'll be able to like rank them in terms of their contribution to both defense and effective like survivability. And once I get all of that kind of laid out before me, it's going to be a lot easier to advise people. But yeah, it's been tough making build guides for POE2 prior to that. Hopefully that'll make things a lot easier. Oh boy, magic chests. Great. Can use that to run a bad map. Okay, so Copper Citadel, we got 81% increased waystones found in area. It's going to be affected by, I think, okay, these towers don't quite reach it, so it's just going to be hit by 5 towers, so we're going to get another 10%, another 10% waystone here. I'm going to look through here. Okay, 605. Can I run this? It's got minus max resist. That's going to put me down to like 60 resist after all of my effect. So if I could potentially do that, but my chances of dying would be quite high. This one penetrates resist, same kind of story. I'm looking for something really high to run in this. 355. We got LE weakness, ailment threshold I can swing. This is my current leader. So that is going to be what I'm looking at first. 400 recovery rate. That's a little, I don't really want to do that. Penetrates again. 475 minus max resist and threshold. Minus max. Turns out a lot of the high waystone drop chance ones I haven't run yet are, in fact, things that I don't want to run. Who would have thought? Pen with double extra. Boy, that one would be tough. I might not be able to get 3 waystones here. Or I could just corrupt a bunch of maps, I guess. Might do that. Yeah, I'm gonna try grabbing a couple of maps that don't have anything too egregious to corrupt, maybe to go to either 8 or something along those lines. This one I can swing. Try to get pen double extra. This one's actually quite good if I corrupt it and get something out of it. This one I can corrupt as well. Not that one. Not that one. Is there a good way? Oh, 510. It's got a bunch of stuff I don't like on it, though. 225. Oh, that's 225 with only 2 easy mods, so I can exalt that. 210. Can try that. And 250, 605. What do we got? Max resist. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to exalt all these up. They all have either stuff I don't want on them but isn't too bad. It doesn't like brick everything. We'll see where they're sitting after this. 335 is my highest. All right. Just going to go ahead and corrupt all them. See if I got a 14. That's a brick. All right, got a 16. Got a 16 with 310. Runnable. And it did go up to 8 mod, I think. No, it's still 6 mod. It's just got big mods. 370 with not that bad. Yeah, this is okay. Current front runner. 335, 590 with minus all. Okay, this one looks promising. 460, burning ground. Okay, well, we tried. We did try. So, yeah, I'm going to go with this one. Vendor this, and hopefully this will be enough to get me to 3 with the 810. Stone drop chance affect fragment drops? Yes. So I don't know if they've changed it from the patch. It seems to be the same because I've done quite a few of them after the patch. I did some last night, Citadels, but it seems like it still works the same, which is you're guaranteed to get an extra one at 400 and then a third one at 800 and then a fourth at 1200, I think. And then you have a chance. So with 675, I should have 2 guaranteed, and then I should have like about a 60%-ish chance, 60 to 70% chance to get a third one as well. Should be how it works. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think that'll be it. Alright, I do need Delirium tablets, so go grab this. Okay. I do like the new checkpoint system too, quite nice. I've specifically on maps like this, I've had it come in handy because there's that area right in the beginning where, ooh, something just hit me hard. Is that a non-death effect? I don't know. I couldn't see anything because Delirium makes you blind, unfortunately. I like Delirium, but also I can't see a thing. Especially, yeah, like between, like I have the ground effects. Now I have Frostbomb on my cast on crit to make it worse. And then I have a nice little like overlay too. So, oh, That just had 2 tier 15s in it. Pretty good. Although, I should just stop picking up tier 15s if they're not delirious or rare, because I am just going to run myself right out of space. I'm hoping next week we get a map tab. That would be fantastic. I don't want to buy another quad tab just for maps, but I think we are nearing that necessity if map tabs don't come soon. Or I just waste a bunch on, like, I just stop rolling them, just start running them completely blank to get from Citadel to Citadel. That could be something too. Then at least I'm getting decent experience instead of using tier 1s. Yeah, I'll just run like bad blue maps or white maps to get to my next Citadels from now on when I don't have any emblems in those areas. Boy, they really did add a lot of rares to the Citadels, though. It used to be you'd get like 2 or 3, maybe 4 rares, and now it seems like you get a solid like 8 to 10 rares on Citadels. So it's actually worth it to clear the Citadels. It's too bad the layouts of the one Citadel is so bad. Was it stone? Yeah. Yeah, the stone Citadel's layout's so awful that I don't care how many rares are there. I'm going to go do the boss, and unless I literally have to complete the map to path through it, I'm out of there. I have no interest in staying in. Alright. You get the nice little wombo combo of Breach and Breach and Delirium, causing you to have 0 FPS. Especially great when you're on a map like this that has a bunch of elevation changes and narrow bridges. Then it's super easy to move with no FPS. Perfect. Oh well. I'm not going to get a lot of breach splinters here, and I'm not going to worry too much about it. We'll just get some. It was never meant to be on this map. I can't even get the... I have to make myself smaller by rolling in order to get the hand because it was on top of the checkpoint. Alright. What a bad breach. My favorite is when you're like setting up a lot of breaches and you have one really, really bad map in the area for breaches. Like, let's say you have, what's a good example of something bad? I mean, something like a Copper Citadel, but more realistically, like a Crypt. I like Crypt. I don't like it for breach. But sometimes when I set up an area for breach, the only time I get the 10 breaches is when I'm doing, actually, is that really high? 67. I'll take a 1367. Should still be a lot of splinters. But yeah, it turns out the only time I proc the 10 breaches in the whole area is usually on the one map that it's not good on. So it'll show up in the crypt and I'll get like, each one will give me like 12 breach splinters or maybe like 15. When, you know, I would have gotten, if I had procced it on the regular map, I would have gotten a whole breach stone at least from that map. If I had gotten it on like a savannah or a steppe or something along those lines. Unfortunately, I don't know if there's a way to skip the phase on Jamanra. Like, it seems like he always either gets this attack off, which now works every time, by the way, which is great. So, that's an improvement. You don't have the bugged thing where she doesn't shield you and then you just die or have to log out right away. So that's good. But yeah, he either does that or the little, like, laser things on the ground. Periodically unleashes lightning, extra fire damage. Okay. Map complete. Well, yeah, I haven't done any any steel citadels since the new patch. Can anybody tell me if that they fixed the bug where that doesn't complete? Just move to your build, super strong as expected. Kind of messed up the fluidity and rapidity of Flicker and Flurry. That's fair. Yeah. I mean, those are very good. And I just really enjoy the kind of lunge of Ice Strike. To me, that feels a little bit more fluid. Obviously, Flicker Strike kind of makes up for that a little bit, but this is a little less juggly in things you have to do. The only real problem you have to solve is cast on crit. And now that I have that solved, this is kind of the like most simple, really good build, I think, or at least one of them. Explosions seem much lesser than when with your previous, really. Um, that's weird, because yeah, I get like I clear screens away in breaches, for instance, with my chains, and that's with no AoE at all. When I was running a little AoE on my jewels, and I had anointed the where are you? There's one over here that I used to anoint a lot. How about I look? There you go. Devastation. When I had this and some Arion jewels, which I don't have either anymore, I would get like absolute. I would clear like the whole breach every single attack. But now I still clear like screens away. Oh yeah, we gotta go ahead and see if we can get some Omega corrupted Black Sun Crest. Nope. I did get a good corrupted Black Sun Crest. I got a 17 strength and then like 14 one. I have it on my mercenary, and I actually got it myself too. I didn't buy it, I just corrupted it that way. I think it is probably the second craziest corruption I got this league after this Ingenuity. So really, really good. Really lucky. I've been pretty lucky with corrupts this league, the early access, uh, so far at least. Oh yeah, I haven't been running the bosses. I've run, I've run what's his name like Arbiter so many times, so I'm probably just gonna go ahead and sell these. Get these out of there. I can feel the old meds wearing off. My brain is getting fogged. Okay. Let's go ahead and toss everything in here. Well, that's minus max res too. Whatever. Should still be fine. Go ahead and get some more exalts. So 2 of these. Yeah, these are plummeting in price. They're down to 189 each. 188 each even. So these were like, well, I guess maybe not plummeting, but they were like 114, 120 at certain points each just a couple of days ago. 5th support on charge staff. Boy, I switch that around a lot. Currently, I have Discombobulate, which is probably bad, but I have Culling Strike, Neural Overload, Persistence, and Electrocute currently. Um, I'm trying Discombobulate. Honestly, I don't do very much physical damage at all, even with like all the buffs up with charge staff. And I'm thinking this is probably not doing anything for me, but I wanted to try it. I already have such a strong chain of crowd control. Like usually I'll get a freeze, and then because of neural overload, I will get a primed electrocute, which will then immediately chain into a stun, which will then immediately chain into a freeze. Because of the way crowd control works, the you can't crowd control like a full not moving crowd control when they're already under the effective one, but the buildup still goes up. So you're still, when they're frozen, you're still raising their stun and their electrocute and etc. Or at least that seems to be the case from what I've noticed. So I'll get like, if something does survive, I'll get these absolutely crazy chains of crowd control. It's really nice. Like the breach boss I did at the beginning of the stream, like I just sit there sometimes because they can't move. They just can't move. I just like to show off. I'm like, yeah, I can stand here for a couple of seconds at a time while you have some like imposing attack animation starting up because you're not going to be able to do anything. Boy. So they really kind of still have the map loading problems. It's not as bad, and sometimes I can still fix it by, leaving and going back out. But usually what I have to do again is I have to exit the login screen, and I have to get it back in, because now I have to find someplace else to farm. I have a couple of places set up to do breach, but I can't look at my map because my map is too big, and even with the faster load times, it still doesn't like to fully load. It will do it sometimes. Like I've had occasionally where if I look around right away, it'll start, getting everything all rendered. Let's see if I can render my whole map here. That would be great. Got Citadel there. So I might do another Citadel. Got a Citadel there. If there's a couple close together, I might do that because it won't require me to move around the map again. Citadel there. There was one where I think it was in the northern part of my map, kind of just north of my starting area. Got there, it's a little ways out, where there were just a bunch just outside of where I was. I'm like, oh man, if I'd just gone a little bit further, look at how close these two are. These two are literally right next to each other, practically kissing. Could connect them almost. Well, what do I want to run? Ambush, charge staff? I don't know. Let me look at that. So I've looked at ambush a little bit, and I'm not really sure if how that would work. Okay, let me take a look at the wording of ambush. So I'm gonna remove discombobulate. I don't think it's doing anything. Probably anything will be better than that anyway. So ambush, what it will do is it has more critical strike chance against enemies that are on full life. I guess specifically, a lot of the times I am killing things with charge staff are going to be when it's just like small enemies that are halfway across my screen and I don't name lock them, so I don't jump to them with ice strike or they're slightly out of range and I just happen to hit them with charge staff. So I guess technically that could be good, especially considering that would put me at, I think, pretty close. Wrong one. Let's see, what's my crit chance on this? It would put me at right at 100% crit chance, basically. Especially if I got one more crit node or something. So ambush could be a possibility. There's got to be something better, though,
Hello,
right?
Friends.
Hey.
Welcome to Behind Eyes Gaming.
Thanks, Dark Atvar. Boy, I still have that old Magic the Gathering subscriber thing. I need to make a new subscribing thing. But now that I'm streaming again, that thing I made like 7-8 years ago when I was a Magic the Gathering content creator. No, probably more than that. It's probably been 9 years by now, right? It's been a while. Huh. And Overly Critical Anime, who was talking earlier, has actually been a subscriber since my original Magic the Gathering channel, all the way back then, which is crazy to me. Still have somebody around from that far back. Let's see. Blows my mind, especially with all of the long breaks I've taken over the time and the switching of content to completely different games. Maybe there just isn't anything better. I can't do lightning exposure because I'm electrocuting with that, so it won't work on that. Yeah, sure. I'll try ambush. We'll give it a shot. Should be helpful for certain things. I'm running out of, actual good things that I can have in my slots. Pretty much run out. I've messed around with some things. I can probably still fit deep freeze in somewhere. Could probably even fit deep freeze in charge staff. There's not a super high chance that it's going to be the thing that ends up freezing, but it's possible. It's not doing a large percentage of the cold damage. So it's a little extra value. Also, there's always just execute to get some extra damage, or super critical, which would make it better for bossing. But yeah, I guess ambush will be nice for specifically certain setups. So with that in mind, let's go find maybe there's another citadel that. Oh yeah, this is one of those glitched citadels. Oh wait, no, it isn't. It's fine. What do I have for towers here? 3 towers. This one isn't going to reach. This one isn't going to reach. Yeah, so 3 towers is all I get. They already have stuff in them. Looks like I just put some throwaway ones on there. I'll just throw this 310 one on here. Since I don't have a lot of waystone anyway, I'm not, and it's an iron citadel, it's not going to be worth much. I'm just going to kind of deal with the fact that I'm only going to get 2 fragments from this one, probably. So Iron Citadel. This is my first Iron Citadel I've done since the patch, so let's see if it's still bugged. Like, can I actually complete the map? So I'm going to full clear this one. Oh yeah, what's the Delirium level on this? I didn't even look. Players are 32%. That was a lot of Simulacrum splinters for 32% Delirious. I got 6 from one pack. It's pretty crazy. Like, that's normally the kind of stuff you get when you're, like, close to 100% Delirious. Okay. Kosis. Kill Kosis. I actually should be getting just generally a lot more Simulacrum splinters, too. Because I get more of the mirrors now. Alright. Let's shoot things with the charge staff, see how it works. I guess I might not want... Well, I keep jumping to it anyway. I'm trying not to name lock him. Okay. Did they fix the targeting on Ice Strike? Did anybody see that in the bug report? Because before, I wouldn't actually use Ice Strike's dash if I didn't name lock things. It would instead just shoot when I had charged staff up specifically. So I wonder if they fixed the auto targeting on that. I'm like actively trying to not. I guess if I face away it doesn't work, but if I'm... Let me try with this down. Okay. It worked that time. Okay, I just have to be far enough out, I guess. Like away from the dash range. But even when I was in range before, it wouldn't work. So hopefully they fix that, because that was kind of annoying. It made Ice Strike actively worse while mapping. Not that it matters, because usually for mapping, you know, even just the hit from charge staff is going to be enough for like white mobs, but it mattered a little bit. It mattered for the feel, and that's what's important to me. That's the most important part. Cool. Alright. Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I mean, seems to work okay. Obviously, at this high, like, I'm not even killing white mobs at this point because I don't have any other damage nodes. See, I did, like, maybe a quarter of the health of that. Although that was one of the rare mobs things. Let's try an actual... This is a blue mob. So I don't think... Yeah, it's going to be quite enough to really... do much in Delirium maps, but in like regular undelirium maps it should be enough to get some extra value there. Quantity of contained items 14%. Sure. Yeah. So we're gonna do the new breach. I think it's definitely better. I've noticed it's better. Like they definitely spawn quicker and they don't seem to get like stuck as much if a singular, like look at that. That was so much quicker. That would be a lot of armor scraps, but I'm definitely just going to leave them there. I could get like 40 armor scraps by going back and forth to town a bunch. I don't feel like doing that. Solo self-found, 100%. But armor scraps aren't that expensive. They're quite cheap even. Or at least they were last I checked. Alright. Yeah, they've added a lot more rares to Iron Citadel, too. I've already killed, like, what, probably at least 10 rares. Not more. Used to be Citadels each had, like, 3 rares or so, 3-4 rares. So this is huge. Really makes a difference. The increased rares and magic monsters are also, that are just generally in a lot of maps now, gonna make... experience better too. You're going to get better experience, level up a bit quicker as you map. So that'll be nice. I've noticed a slight increase. It's not huge, but I think when doing regular like mapping, I was getting before the patch maybe like 8 million XP an hour, and now I'm getting over 10 million, like 10 and a half. So, and that was when I wasn't like intentionally doing irradiated corrupted maps with tier 16s and stuff. Uh, Breaches you get a lot more either way. Like even doing stuff that's super low level, like doing 79 maps, if you are consistently doing like extra breach maps, you'll end up getting, at least 20, 30 million XP an hour usually, but outside of that, it's hard to kind of set up both though. It's not too hard, I guess. You just find an area with a lot of corruption and a lot of towers. Should be able to do it. Okay. We still have two rares that kind of hit over there, which were in the middle, so the checkpoint isn't even going to help here. And I would imagine the other fragments, like the ones from the iron and the stone one, are probably down to like 30 exalts apiece by this point, since a lot more people are finding citadels, I'm sure. Okay, gotta let them transform. You can actually, the funny thing is, the other two bosses, okay. I guess Jamanra is the only one that has an actual limit to your health. You can technically kill Geonor's full first form, even though he transforms after half. And the other weird thing is that Geonor and what's his name? Malachi, not Malachi. My brain's just going full blank. Hang on. He's got a battle mech. Doriani. Yeah. So Geonor and Doriani, they actually, when they change or go into their second forms, if you have the node on them that gives them extra modifiers, those modifiers will change. So if you have Deadly Evolution, they will re-roll their modifiers, but that isn't true for, what's his name? The Dreadnought one. The Copper Citadel boss, whose name also eludes me, even though I just said it not too long. Wow, look at that. 30 strength, 30 int, 17 all attributes rarity. Whoa. Wow. Nice. Okay. I've been getting some good stuff today. Hand of Wisdom in action. Got a sick body armor. Got a couple of sick rares on top of that. I'll put this over. I don't have room over here. This is why I need to get rid of. I'm wasting too many tabs on maps. Should organize better. I'll just throw this. Wow. What an Ami. I mean, those aren't like top tier attribute rolls. Oh, yeah. I also got. Where is it? Did I put it somewhere? I got a really cool breach ring the other day. Just crafted it. I elked it and threw a couple of exalts on it. See if I can find it in here. It's so good, but I'm so disorganized that I can't seem to find it. Where would I have put that? Oh, here it is. Yeah, look at that. That thing's like almost an Astromentus. 48 strength, 43 int, 43 dex. Huge. Absolutely huge. Now, I'm probably going to, and of course that's with the attribute. I'm probably going to have to, if I want to make this like a real strong ring, I'm going to have to get the annuls off prefix, which those are super expensive. But yeah, this is a nutty ring. I'm going to have a crazy stat stacker. I think I just pull the trigger and finally buy an Astromentus here soon. I think it's about that time to where fine, I'll play the big meta thing. You've twisted my arm. What do we got here? 39 Delirium. Okay. It's got Quant Rarity Hybrid. We'll go ahead and roll that one up. Number of monster packs. Okay roll. Evasive. That's fine. And number of rare monsters. Low roll. So it's got 3 very good rolls. They're just not super high. Still a good map though. Simulacrum splinters and rare monsters. That's a decent synergy. Okay, let's see how much the ancient ones are going for. I'm sure It's a good thing I ran most of my Citadels before the patch, because I knew when they were going to improve the visibility, the prices of these were going to plummet, for sure. Showing me as not having any ancients, even though I have 2 in my inventory. Oh, this is want, I see. I got this backwards. Let's go ahead and swap this over. Ancient, there you go, 2. Oh, why are the ancient more expensive now? The coppers were always more expensive, or the copper citadel one used to be the most expensive. I wonder what happened. Maybe, wait, what am I doing? 1. Let it autofill. There you go. I'm losing my motor function. Have you tried fitting Grim Feast? Yeah, I'm fine without Grim Feast. The thing is I don't need Grim Feast. I would only need Grim Feast for bossing, and I can't use it for bossing. I just don't need it for mapping. And I could use it for Delirium, but they don't leave corpses in Delirium either, so I can't use it in or Simulacrum specifically. So I can't use it in Simulacrum. I can't use it for bossing. Those are literally the only 2 places I would want it. So yeah, I'm not gonna run Grim Feast. It's not worth it. Now, if I could find a way to make those, maybe they can work. I guess I haven't looked into it as much. I'm pretty sure they can't work in either of those circumstances, though, right? Crazy? Might be crazy. Let's see, Grim Feast. Grim Feast is going to be under Necromancer or whatever, Witch, right? Witch, Grim Feast. Feeds on corpses, yeah. So I would also have, so I'd have to use 2 skill setups. I'd have to, oh yeah, I couldn't even do it because I'd have to find a way to make my, I'd have to get a minion, make it so the minion counts as a corpse, and then use Grim Feast to use it on bosses and simulacrums, which is just a lot of trouble to go through. I'll just, yeah. If I was squishy during mapping, it'd be one thing, but I don't die a lot. Obviously, I've done a ton of maps today, hard maps, actual hard maps, like with a bunch of mods that would kill a lot of people, and haven't died. So, and I've done Simulacrum today, haven't died. So I think Grim Feast isn't necessary. Let's see. I could go to this one. Do I have anything in these towers? There's going to be 2 towers. I could throw in 2 waystone quantities. Stone Citadel. I kind of want to find another Steel Citadel since they seem to be worth so much. There's another copper. I mean, I'm right here on this copper, though. Yeah, I'm just going to do this while I'm here. I don't think I'm just gonna throw in 260. I don't want to roll. I don't want to roll and refind this. So I would have to, yeah, go out and then find that again after either re-rolling or find one of the maps that I rolled earlier. That's another thing I wish you could do. I wish you could say, hey, I found this part on my map. I don't want to go back to the last map I completed when I open my atlas again. I want to bookmark where I'm at right now so that when I go back to my stash and get the map that I forgot, I don't have to find this again. That's kind of the quality of life feature that would be most helpful for me, I think, currently in the maps. Although they're definitely getting there. The mapping, everything seems a lot better overall. The map loads quicker. Being able to see the citadels and then being able to zoom out is nice. They're definitely getting there on the maps. Feels a ton better. But yeah, if only I could bookmark a section of the atlas to go back to, would be perfect. Then we'd really be dealing with a solid state for the atlas, I'd say. Ooh, 6 simulacrum splinters again. One shot the rare, no problem. Pull the dead, easy peasy. Hope not this one though. This one's got a little bit more grit. Jeweler's Orb. Get that. Actually, I'm going to need to start storing some of those up for when I do roll a new character. I think I have 2 more things to perfect Jeweler's Orb, so I know where those are going. This is... man. At least it's only the 1 breach here. Oh boy. I sure I'm stuck on some little map artifact that I can't see. There you go. Something's going on. Hard to say. Breach and Delirium on specifically Copper Citadel, but also lots of other maps. Not the best. What's happening? Couldn't tell you. Could not tell you. Am I going to die? Am I stuck on the bridge? No idea. Alright. I actually got a decent amount of splinters, though, for how kind of blocked off everything was. Luckily, a lot of rares kind of consolidated in the middle there, so I still ended up getting a decent amount. So, a little bit lucky. All works out. Yeah, look at that little... a bunch of rares just spawned here, and I think, like, maybe a hand or 2 as well. Still got some. Delirious Aria, 68, sure. Take a 68. I just need to get that last Simulacrum done. Then I can start selling Simulacrums too. Then I can start really making currency. So just these 2 rares left. Sell my... well, yeah, I guess once I've got everything done, I can just sell everything and just make a mirror character, which I don't even do on POE1 because I usually just jump from one character to the next, but I just really like the Invoker. I know. Just absolutely fell in love with this particular Ascendancy. Every time I play another Ascendancy, I feel like I kind of wish I was playing Invoker right now. Just how I feel currently. I'm sure I'll get really into Deadeye at some point. I'll figure out a really nice layout, and I'll be like, boy, I can't imagine not having 150 movement speed at all times. I guess I love Deadeye now. Excuse me. I want to try some of the Warrior Ascendancies, but I also don't really want to play Mace. I guess obviously the solution there is to just play Quarterstaff on Warrior, Bow, or Wand. I still haven't played Spellcaster. I haven't even started a Spellcaster yet. I've used crossbows, I've used maces, I've used bows, but still on my list to give a caster a try. Are you just gonna sit here and not cut this off? Do I have to attack you more? There you go. What is the Jagged Swell? Oh, Jagged Swell is like, huh. So he's got 3 mods. Did I have the Delirium extra mod as well on here? So that unique bosses get 3 additional. Rares have 33%. No. Huh. Okay. That's weird. I only got 1. I didn't even hit 400. I hit 377. Maybe I should have actually I thought I had enough mods to hit 400 there. I guess I didn't, and then I got unlucky. So 9 or something last time. So for Exalted, I have Faded, 87. Okay. Yeah, I just screwed myself out of like 2/3 of a divine by just being lazy. Oops. Worth. Definitely worth. Okay. And it is actually past my ending time, so I am going to call it here, but thank you everyone who stopped in. Appreciate it. I'll be back on Tuesday for my next stream. I will try to get that guide done as quickly as I can. The first thing I'm going to do after this stream is get POE2, which will hopefully help me in the process. Yeah, hope you enjoyed. This has been Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and I'll see you next time.